Hello everybody, it's Mr. Sports Travel on the road in Chile. I'm actually with a Chilean who's been on the national team since he was 19 years old. Gerardo, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks to you too. What are you doing?
My pleasure. So what I'm doing with these videos is talking to either an American player or maybe in this case someone that's native to his country to educate the American basketball fan of what is basketball like in Chile. And when you think about South American sports, you think about football, or what in America we call soccer. But Chile has a basketball league. In fact, tonight I'm going to see my second basketball game on this trip. Later I'm going to see 4 other games. And so Gerardo has been on the national team since he was 19. That's 2010, folks, long time ago. So he's what we call a veteran in the States. And he plays for a town, I'm going to mispronounce the name, but I've heard it based on my research that's a big basketball town, and it's called Valdivia. Or did I miss?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, not too bad.
Close to it.
Now, let's first talk about the towns in Chile that have pretty good basketball following. I was in Concepcion on Wednesday. They played San Fernando.
Yep.
They had a pretty good crowd. They played at the University of Chile. It was a gym, kind of like a barn-style gym, and I'll post an interview with Jerry from the U.S. who played at Nevada, University of Nevada, Reno. So I heard Concepcion, you guys, and Ancud, the 3 that draw pretty well, have good fan support. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think you will be surprised on next Saturday.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
really surprised.
Yeah,
Because
good atmosphere,
it's
yeah?
loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how big is your gym? A couple thousand?
Yeah, close to 4,000.
Oh wow, it's 4,000. That's a pretty good sized gym. Now, for perspective here, we are outside the gym in a town called Lautaro. Is that right? Lautaro?
Lautaro?
Lautaro. So I wasn't even close on that one. Now, he's playing for the visiting team. The home team tonight is Temuco.
Yep.
Temuco. Now, Temuco has a gym in the town, but I guess there was some scheduling conflicts this year. So this season they're playing 30 kilometers south here. And so this gym, and I'll post pictures and video later, this gym is kind of like Concepcion, but much smaller. It's like a cracker box gym of what we call in the States. So let's talk about you and growing up in Chile. When did you first start playing basketball in Chile? About how old were you?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old?
Yep.
Now, when did it become your primary sport? Like, I'm really good at this, I'm going to focus on basketball. About how old were you?
I tried different sports like during that day, but back in the day, but I wasn't good enough in any of those, so I stick with basketball since 11.
Since 11. So by the time you were 11, you kind of realized, hey, people say I'm pretty good, I enjoy the game, I'm pretty good, I'm having fun. So you were more focusing on the basketball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was 14, I was trying to reach a scholarship, like a college scholarship,
Okay.
And that was the focus. I didn't meant to.
In the U.S.
First of all, here I wasn't meant to be a.
So you wanted to get a college scholarship to play basketball at a college here in Chile.
That was the first goal. But
And is basketball played in the colleges in Chile?
Yeah, we have a league. It's minor league, has to develop still, but you can study with a scholarship and
Okay.
you can.
So your first goal was to get a scholarship not to the United States, but in your home country.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the picture also
And
opened up.
then things changed. Okay. So you started playing on the national team at 19. When did you start to represent Chile, or when did things start to go, well, hey, I'm doing really well? Was it 16, 17? Walk me through that.
It was 2007, so I was 16.
Okay.
And I started to realize that I could make it to the first team in my professional club.
Yep.
And then the things kind of moved fast. And I went to the national team, and then
And how old were you then?
19, and the next
19.
year I went to the U.S.
Okay. So when did you start playing for?
Valdivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
16, the same year.
And is that the same league we're watching tonight, the LNB?
Yeah, it just changed the name, but it's pretty much the same
So this is an interesting fact. So you started playing in the top league in Chile when you were 16 years old. Is that right?
league. Yeah, I kind of play the garbage minutes, but I played.
But you were playing.
Yeah.
So think about that, folks. So the average American high school basketball player is not playing like for a college in the U.S. or for a pro team in the U.S. at 16. We all know LeBron James went to high school, went to the NBA, but he was like 17 or 18. You were 16, right?
Different kind of talent.
Well, different, right? We're a different country, right? We're not comparing you to LeBron James. No offense, you're not. No one's LeBron James, right? I mean Michael Jordan, right? But just for perspective on age. Okay, so let's talk about the United States. You mentioned that you first went to Northeast Oklahoma, junior college. Is that right?
Yeah.
How did you end up there? Did a coach find you? Walk me through that process.
It was the national coach, Manuel Cordoba, who had a friend.
National coach of Chile had a friend.
Exactly. He had a friend that is a Brazilian.
Okay.
Used to coach in Utah and then in Hawaii.
Okay.
Called Walter Poesa.
Okay.
And he sent a bunch of videos of Brazilians and South American players to all the junior college, so they can make the transition first in the junior college, and then if things goes well, go to Division One. But well, I have some issues with the eligibility, so I ended up in AA. But it was still okay. I get education and pretty good basketball.
So you spent 2 years in Oklahoma?
And then one more year in Columbia College.
Right. So in Northeast Oklahoma, junior college near Tulsa.
Yeah.
2 years. And then you went to an NAIA school, Columbia College, which I've seen a game at. And of course, being Mr. Sports Travel, the everywhere man, the greatest sports traveler of all time, because I've seen a game at every single Division I men's and women's venue, the only person on the planet to do that, and the women's venue. I've actually been to Columbia College. It's a small cracker box gym. They have a pretty good following. The students were there. Now talk to me about the coach and how you ended up at Columbia College from Oklahoma.
Coach Grover in Northeastern Oklahoma, or NEO, he sent me to a jamboree, I think it's the name, where
Yep.
there are a lot of
Jamboree is kind of like a tournament. Yep.
Exactly. And I had a showcase.
A showcase,
where
yeah.
I ended
Yep.
up with a team that I didn't know, but I had to play.
Yep. And where was that at? Do you remember where that was?
It was in Missouri, but I forgot.
Somewhere in the state of Missouri. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And I went
Was it during the college basketball season in the U.S. or the off season?
off season.
Okay. All right.
Off-season,
So you were invited to this showcase.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was invited. Over there, I met the assistant coach, who is a coach in Division II in Missouri.
Yep.
The Bears. I don't remember.
Maybe in Joplin, southeast. No. Missouri State Bears.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
No,
Okay.
not MSSU. That's
Okay.
about my first scrimmage. I
Okay.
didn't know the rules, so
Okay.
I
So
dunked it.
so might have been one of the Division II schools, but let's continue. That's okay.
And I met the assistant coach, Matt Brock, and he kind of started to talk to me. We played some good games. He wanted to watch me, and then he offered me a visit. I went to know that city, Columbia, in Missouri, which was a lot different than Miami, Oklahoma.
Right. Right.
I pretty liked it. It was a university town.
Yes, because Columbia College is also the home of the University of Missouri, the Tigers, in the SEC. And he went from Miami, Oklahoma, which nearby Miami, Oklahoma is the birthplace of Mickey Mantle, the famous baseball player. But it is a difference between Miami, Oklahoma, and a college town, Columbia, Missouri. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Then I met Bob Butcher, who was the coach,
Yep,
a
that's
legend in the NIA, NABC, I think, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I don't know if he reached the 1,000 wins. I guess he.
But
he
you
did.
met some good company. Yep.
Yeah, he was a great coach. He scheduled all the games. He prepared a lot, and also he gave me the opportunity to play 1 year. But I think because of boosters and stuff, I get the education for the 2 years I needed to graduate.
Great. So you
it was a
graduated.
good
You earned your degree. What was your degree in?
International business.
Okay, great. So you played in Columbia College for 2 years, then you come back to Chile. Is that right?
Yep. I come back to Chile, not to my hometown. I went to Osorno, which is another city that you may go.
Yep.
You have to go there. Good crowd and good gym. And then I moved to other teams, Puerto Vallarta, and then come back to my hometown, which is Valdivia, and this is my 8th year.
Yeah, but you also said that you played in the Premier League in Argentina for a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the second league in 2016, and 2020 they did a bubble.
Okay. Because of
for
COVID.
Because of COVID, and I went to play for like a month with a top team.
Okay. So let's educate the American basketball fan about Chilean basketball compared to the other countries in South America. So it sounds like the top dog is Argentina, right? They're number one. would
right
you
now,
say?
I would say
Talent-wise?
Exactly. Brazil, it's moving. Let's say, which is real. It's moving more money, so they have the better players. They
Right.
have the better Argentinians.
And I've seen some games in Brazil.
Yeah.
So after Argentina and after Brazil, is that where Chile can be competitive, or what are some other countries that after the Argentina and Brazils would you
We
say?
are targeting those third and fourth place, but really it's Uruguay and Venezuela.
Right.
And then
Interesting. Uruguay and Venezuela. Okay.
And then we are in a bunch, which is Colombia, Paraguay, and us.
Okay. So folks, we've got Argentina and Brazil at the top. And then we have Venezuela, which I have heard is really doing well there. Venezuela's a big baseball country, only baseball country in South America. But basketball's growing there. And then Uruguay. And I was at the FIBA Championships, the United States and Uruguay, a couple weeks ago. So you're saying you guys are sort of in that third tier with Colombia, which has its own league, and Ecuador, which also has a league, starts end of May. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think we are in that middle, and under us it's Ecuador, Valdivia, and Peru. I don't know if they have a league right now. They did some years ago. Sometimes they don't.
Where's that now?
Peru.
Peru, they do. They're actually playing right now. But yeah, it's not as developed as you guys. It's pretty much in Lima.
See, the geography of Chile makes it sometimes harder.
Yeah.
It's not like Uruguay where you play like in Montevideo.
Pretty
the
much,
games,
right.
Like 20,
Yep.
20
Yep.
teams. You don't have to spend on traveling,
Right.
on hotels and stuff. But it's a league that it's growing. That a lot of Argentinians are looking because money-wise, the change of the dollar and
Right.
stuff.
It's a good
which
point.
Which is like real. This is a job. So
Right, and I think the other thing too that I've noticed in being in Chile and having been in Argentina is of all the developed economies, Brazil is bigger country, so maybe you can't compare that, but very good quality of life here in Chile that I've noticed. And you're right, your country is large and you've got teams all over the place, as they do in Argentina. You've got teams in the south, Puerto Montt, where you are, Puerto Varas, and you've got Santiago, you've got some other teams right in the north. Would you say that the power and the talent base in Chile is more or less in the south, would you say, for the most part, in southern Chile?
yeah.
Puerto Montt,
Last
Valdivia,
two-
Ancud.
Last two last championships were dominated by Udinese.
Yeah.
Udinese, they have a great team, but I would say the last decade, pretty much the South teams. have
Right,
been
right.
in the top.
And then as we talked about at the beginning of this video, that's where the fan bases are very strong.
Yeah, that's a different story. Like in the
Right.
in the north, I mean, they have good teams, but you have to compete with soccer. And
Right.
that's pretty
And
tough.
that's a good point. All of the countries, except for Venezuela, where it's baseball, it's football is the challenge. And it's the same challenge, it's the flip side in the U.S., right? Why can't the U.S. do well in football, or what we call soccer? Well, our best athletes play American football, basketball, baseball, and some play even ice hockey. So let me ask you a couple last questions, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much for your time. You're still playing, right? So don't read into this question, but what would you say has been your proudest moment as a basketball player to date? Like if you had to pick a moment, is it representing your country? Was it playing in a specific game that you won? Was it a championship you won? What would you say has been your proudest moment as a basketball player as of right now?
So right now, I think in 2019, we were champion of this league.
Okay.
We won the league. I raised a trophy. I'm from there. I'm the captain of the team. I'm in my city with 4,000 people.
And did you win the championship? Did the final game play at your gym?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's as good as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. He was born in this town. He played his first game when he was 16 for this town. Imagine what that was like in 2019. How old are you now?
Now?
Yeah.
31. So
31. So you were 28, 29, and you hoisted the trophy in your town. And that's a good selection. I like that one. I'm sure he's proud of representing the Chilean national team, and he's the veteran of more than 10 years. But certainly that's a very understandable. It's kind of similar to LeBron James in the sense that LeBron grew up in Cleveland, played for the Cavaliers, left right to Miami, came back to Cleveland, won his city the championship. You did the same thing in your country, right? Obviously, no comparing NBA and LNB, but you get the deal, right?
In our level, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was your proudest moment. Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
By far.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your
you,
time.
thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure. Unedited and unfiltered. with some wind, the howling wind of, would you say this is, are we like in central Chile? What would you say?
Very south.
Of
Yeah, we're in
the
the south.
howling wind of southern Chile. Mr. Sports Travel signing off.
Close to
Would love
Antarctica.
would love to get your feedback, and I'll send a link to you on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll link to this guy when I post the video. Bye bye for now.